Chris here with Barnyard Outdoors. I just got back from traveling for 2 weeks out in California, and that included some hotel stays and staying at the family's house. And I took a new illumination tool with me that really impressed me. As a matter of fact, it might replace my daily carry when I'm out camping. This light, the new Wuben X4. This thing is just being released today. Links will be down in the description. Let's get right at it. Let's take a look at all the features and functionality of this, and I'll tell you what I think about it. Let's take a look at what we get in the box here. This is your standard Wuben box, right? Let's open this up. Now, I've already had this out of the box, so some of the things have already been removed from plastic. Very nice packaging. That's what Wuben does. And look at that. That's a pretty hefty manual, and it tells you everything you need to know. You might want to hold on to this until you get familiar with all of the really neat features with this light. Now, one thing you'll notice here, it does come in the bag, but I already took it out of that, is this little blue thing here, and this is important. Your light is not going to function until you remove this. And we will talk about that in just a minute. And what do we got in here? This is your standard box that has your cable and your lanyard in it. So here's our USB-A to USB-C charging cable, and of course a Wuben lanyard, which I am not going to put on the light. So let's talk about this little thing real quick, right? You're going to have to remove this for the light to function because this comes with a standard replaceable 18650 battery, which there's a little lock here on the side. And if I flip that open, you can see there is the standard battery. And it is just a Wuben branded ABE 3400 18650 lithium battery. So once you put the battery back in, there is a very nice latch mechanism on this that will secure it. And then there is a slide lock, and that slide lock down in the lock position will prevent this from opening up on you when you are out using it. Let's take a quick look at this light. Of course, you've got your locking mechanism we just talked about, some standard governmental writings and regulations that need to be on there. On the back, you have a very strong and positive clip. Very nice clip. I've never had a problem with this thing coming out of a pocket or falling out of a bag. I've been carrying in my haversack for over 2 weeks now without any problem whatsoever. On the side here, you have the Wuben branding for the X4. You have an on-off button. You have this really awesome slide selector, which allows you to select the different light modes and lock it out. Plus, it also covers the USB-C charge port there. And then on this side of the light, you have a white LED light strip that you can control the brightness in. Plus you have some multicolor lights which you can select. And then on the very back, you have a magnetic tail cap, and it is flat. You can stand it up on its own, no problem whatsoever. You also have this switch right here, which does different things in different modes, but this is like a tactical tail cap. You can just push that, and it's got a really nice sound to it. So quickly going over the specs of the light, it has a max output of 1500 lumens. It has a 205 yard max beam distance. I will put all the runtime information up on the screen so you can take a look at it right here. The total weight of this is 141 grams or 4.97 ounces, and that is with the included battery. Without the battery, you're looking at 91 grams or 3.21 ounces. It is rated for 1 meter of drop resistance and IP68, 2 meters underwater for 1 hour. So no worries using this in inclement weather or even dropping it in a puddle. You're not going to have any trouble whatsoever with this. So let's look at the controls on this light. This bottom setting here with the little lock on it, pretty self-explanatory. That is the lock. The next selection up is the light pointing this direction, just for controlling this light strip and the multicolor section. The third selection up is going to be just for controlling this amazing beam. You can adjust the brightness on it, you can turn it on and off. It even has a strobe mode. And then this last setting, and this has become one of my favorites, right? Very easy to get to up here. This does expose the USB port for charging, but the little moon image there, that is for moonlight mode. What do they mean by moonlight mode? 5 lumens. 5 lumens, the perfect amount of light if you are in a dark area and you don't want to completely blind yourself. It is that easy just to slide that switch all the way up there and have access to moonlight mode. You don't have to worry about it being anything more than 5 lumens no matter what you do with the light, which I think is a great feature. I love moonlight mode on these lights. So let's get started with this front light. If I press this side button, you will see you get this very nice strip of lights, and then using this control wheel, you can adjust it. It will flash when it's either at the bottom end or the top end. So there it is at the lowest, and you've got some variability there. And look at how bright this thing gets. That is crazy, crazy bright. And what I found this is perfect for is just sitting this on a nightstand, right? Pointing it towards the wall and giving myself a little light just before I'm ready to go to bed. I think it is a great light to have the way they've designed this, because you can stand the light up and then control the brightness. It will remember what brightness setting you have. If I turn it off there and turn it back on, it's going to be at that same brightness level. So once this light is on, it's completely functional just like that. If you push the tail switch, nothing happens, right? If I turn this light off, but I still leave it in this front light mode, if I push the tail switch now, it gives me immediate high power. So if I'm using this as a lantern in my tent, which is what I'm going to be doing, I can have it sitting there, I can go to bed, and I just turn the light off. But if I hear something in the night, I can just instantly grab the light, push the tail switch, and I get that full power blinding 1500 lumens. That is very, very handy. Now, I mentioned some other colors, and just like the G5 has, there are different functions of this button. If I push it just once, it turns on that main side light. If I push it twice, it goes into that strobe mode, right? And I can keep double clicking to change that. Right now it's red and green. You've got red and yellow. And one more time, you get the familiar red and blue, which is a very, very cool thing. It does not remember that setting. When I go back into here, I am right back to white. But if I push and hold this button, it switches over to the color LED. And just like the G5, you can control this with this little wheel, and you can adjust it through all the different colors: red, purple, blue, light blue, green, and then there's like a yellow and a little bit oranger, and then back to red. So it does remember that setting. So if I turn this off and then I go back to it later and I turn it on, right back to that RGB LED they have there, you cannot control the brightness of this. It's whatever brightness it is when you turn it on. So it's something to keep in mind. If I double tap the side button while the color light's on, it turns into signal mode, right? So it's just going to keep flashing that color, whatever color you have selected, and you cannot change that color once it's going. So for me, when I'm out, I usually like having a green light on the back of my pack. So I would set this to green and then double tap, and now I have a signal light that I can clip to the back of my backpack so my buddies can see me if I wander off in the woods. I love that feature. I love having a light that also doubles as a signal light. When you want to go back to the white mode, just push and hold this side button and you're back to the white lights, and you have control over them. And that is just such a great design. Very easy to figure out once you get the hang of it, especially if you're familiar with that G5. But I love the fact that this will function as a signal light, and it will also function as a small lantern. And I'm telling you, it is very bright when you have this cranked up all the way. It's actually rated at 100 lumens, which is very, very impressive. And it makes a great little lantern. It's very functional if you just want, kind of a bright light in front of you when you're kind of walking around and navigating. You don't have to worry about any light getting back in your eyes. And this gives you plenty of light. Moving on to the next setting, it is the front beam. And I'll tell you, this beam is amazing and very, very bright. Same thing, I move it up here, and if I hit this side button, it turns on that front light, and then you can adjust the brightness by this wheel, and it will flash when it's at the low end, or you can crank it up to high and it'll flash when it's at the top end. But you have some really good control over this light. And same thing as the side light, it now has a memory. It knows how bright this was. No matter what I do to this wheel, I can turn it as many times as I want. When I turn it back on, the light is at that same brightness that I had before. So when the light is on, the tail switch does absolutely nothing, just like the side light. But if I turn the light off and I push the tail switch, I immediately have that 1500 lumens of brightness. The other nice thing with the tail switch is if I double tap this, it goes into strobe mode, right? You can scare away raccoons and other animals. Now it will stay in strobe mode until you tap the tail switch again to turn it off. And the next time I press the tail switch, it is just going to be the full 1500 lumens. The last setting on here is the moonlight mode. Like I said, my favorite. This is 5 lumens. That's it. That's it. There's no adjustments to it. It is just on or off. And the tail switch will turn that on or off as well. You don't even get a strobe mode. There's nothing you get other than 5 lumens, which I absolutely love. It's probably one of my favorite features because I can take this out with me. I can pull it out of my pack or out of my pocket, slide that all the way up, and know that I just have moonlight mode. I don't have to worry about blinding myself. I don't have to worry about blinding everybody around me. It is a great feature to have that. The only thing to keep in mind is that the USB-C port will be exposed when you are doing that. So tell me what you think. What do you think about this new X4 from Wuben? I have been extremely impressed with what Wuben's been doing here recently. They are making some amazing lights, and there are some amazing functions with this. I love the fact that this can be my lantern and my flashlight for around camp. I think that is a great multi-purpose item. So I'm going to be taking this on my next camp out. Like I said, I've been traveling for the past couple weeks. I use this exclusively around the house, early mornings, and also used it in the evenings. And then I used it when I was on my way back, traveling, staying at hotels. It's just a very functional light to have, and it's all in one very nice, compact package. I think that Wuben has another winner here, and I'm very happy that Wuben reached out to me and said they would send me one of these to take a look at and to show to everybody on my channel. So like I said, the links are down in the description below. Go check it out. So let me know down in the comments below what you think of this Wuben light, if you like it, if you think it checks all your boxes when it comes to a good camping or emergency illumination tool. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks everybody for watching.